Welcome to the Blue Oasis Podcast. I am your host, Adam Rothstein. All right, let's get to the show. Good morning, hobbyists. I thank you all for listening this morning, and if you're a newcomer to the show, welcome. Okay, so quick update. I am going to release the next episode early next week, so after this episode, you should expect to see it either on Tuesday or that Monday from the time that this comes out. Also, if you like what you hear here, then you can donate to the show. There will be a Square link in the show notes, and if you're on YouTube, the link will be in the description. All right, so today's episode is on books, both writing and reading them. When it comes to books, it can be a great opportunity for entrepreneurs or anyone looking to write a great story and sell it. So this year, I wrote my first ebook and put it on KDP. I sold a few copies of Growing the Game, which is the title of my book. But more importantly, I learned what not to do when self-publishing a book on KDP. So when I published the ebook, I did not think to publish a physical book with it, to also have the physical book with it. And when you're starting out, you should absolutely have both a physical book and an ebook. This will help build your credibility and authority when writing a story on KDP. Now, I also put it out on Barnes & Noble, but I only sold one copy there, and I actually did not meet the threshold there for receiving your income back or receiving an income back. So whatever profit I made from that book, I have not seen it yet. So it's going to be a little while until I see that. And I also learned that it's probably better to just send your group to one link rather than both. Or if you do have enough people, let's say you get like 20, 30 people, then you can have both links as well. Now, when it comes to the hobby of books and writing them, when you write a book, you are creating your own story. You are fulfilling your dream in a way. You're writing your own dream. You're writing fantasy, and it is a great channel to, blow off some steam and just relax. Think about it. You are creating your perfect world. You are creating your perfect story. You are creating something for yourself that you can sell and you can share with anyone. And it's so easy now to create an income from books. When the internet was still not around, when it was not as modernized and it wasn't in many people's homes, the only way you could create nomadic wealth or a nomadic income was from books. That was one of the few ways to do it. You could also produce some music, but you had to actually get an agent for if you wanted to be in music or movies and create a passive income or a nomadic income that way. And for the average Joe, the only real path was books. It wasn't, unless you invented something that changed people's lives, it was really hard to get it back. Even in the 1980s, it was really hard to get nomadic wealth going. But the opportunity has always been there ever since we were able to publish books back in the 1500s. It's just hard to get your message out there. And I've learned that having your group or building the email list is the key to selling your book. And you also should ask people to share the book, read it, review it, maybe create a YouTube video review of the book, and just get the word out. And for me, I used MailChimp and also got an email list, and I probably sent about 200, 300 emails, and I didn't make that much on it because it was an ebook, and also people could download it for free, or if they were on the KDP program, they could get it for free. So I didn't make that much money from it on KDP, which is another reason why you need a physical book. Build that authority is what I learned. So when you make these types of mistakes, you're going to learn from that, and you're going to be better off from it. So let's focus on writing the story, right? If you're writing something nonfiction, it definitely can be easier than writing a novel or anything fantasy related, because with nonfiction, you're doing research and you are just, it's almost like taking notes and just compiling it into certain chapters, or just laying the groundwork for the reader of what happened throughout history. Now, for the novel, you are probably going to get more of a writer's block that way, and there are many different directions you can take your story, and you may not initially like your first pick, and that's why we have first, second, and third drafts when writing. Once you outline your story, here's what I would suggest. Take your scenarios, wherever you want to take your book, write an alternate ending or write an alternate scene with that, and just make all the possibilities you would want to have. Just write it down on a list of what you would want, and then decide. And you may find that you want to take the story in a whole different direction. That's cool. That's why writing it down prior is always a good idea. Now, once your story is complete, you're going to want to share it with friends and get the word out as well. So an idea that works is make a PDF of the first few chapters or a little segment of the book, and just send that out to people and get their feedback on it, and see if you can make any improvements from it before you publish on KDP or self-publish anywhere else. And once you have that, then your story is going to be complete. Now, the cover art for your books is something that you can get really cheaply. I actually bought the logo for the podcast for $1 on Canva, and you could probably design something there. You could also go to Fiverr and have it professionally done for really cheap, like $5 or $10 there. And you don't have to be the one to design it as well, but those options of Fiverr, Upwork, or just going to Canva is also great. But if you have Photoshop, or you're really good with that and you want to design it, go do it, and more power to you. So let's get into the reading aspects of the books. So I often talk about finding balance in life on the show. Reading books out on the porch or the patio or just out in nature is definitely something that I enjoy doing. Just getting that fresh air, just sitting on that couch and on the patio, or just sitting on a chair on the patio and drinking coffee, tea, whatever, and just relaxing, hearing nature, hearing birds chirp, watching butterflies go by when I look up from the pages, and just taking it all in. Reading books is the perfect way to learn. We don't really learn by showing people. We learn by storytelling. And this is why some people tend to do better in, say, a history class, is because they are really good at getting into the story. So if you have a good story, people will often be more likely to learn the lessons from that story. Just wanted to touch back on the author part of this. Now, back to reading. Reading can also provide you a source of income. Let's say you have a YouTube channel and you review books. If you build that up enough, even with like 2,000 or 3,000 subs, you can definitely make something from it. And I've seen people do it, and even though it may only be like $10 per video, it's still something. And I've learned that just putting things out there and just doing your best in the beginning is probably the most important thing. And it also just helps you get your feet wet, so to speak. Also, when you start reading more often, you're going to start getting ideas. You're going to start getting ideas of either novels to write, or where you want to take your life, or how you want to start a business. And starting off the day by reading, and instead of watching the news, that's going to do more for you in your bottom line. So Dave Ramsey has a saying, what happens at your house is more important than what happens at the White House. So basically the quote is, it's more important that you focus on your life rather than the lives of others. And also, at the end of the day, you're in control of your life, is what he's saying. And you do have the power to choose. You have the power to make the difference. And even though it may not seem like it, even though your dreams may seem far away, if you put in effort and keep just chipping away at the problems, just keep going through the pain, you're going to get somewhere. And I also would like to point out that I'm still learning too. I'm chipping away at things. I'm busting through my problems and learning new things and trying to achieve my dream. And it's not easy, but I'm doing it. And, executing a decent plan is better than not executing a perfect plan. Because the key is all about the execution. You want to get the proper outcome. And, maybe your plan is excellent. Maybe it's the best plan ever. And even if you do execute it, it may not turn out the way you like it. Still, that is better than not trying at all. You have to put in effort if you want to get anywhere in this life. I'm writing a novel now. It's going to be about a kid trying to get on his own and just make it to professional hockey. So it's kind of like a little bit of The Natural, but it's modernized, and the sport is about hockey, not baseball. And right now I'm letting people know what is going on and where I'm taking this story, and I'm asking my friends to share the story and also just promote the book, maybe put it as an Instagram story when it's ready. Now, there are many different things where I can take this story as well. I think I've got the first 7 chapters down and they are set, and that's where I want to take the story. But finding that ending and also the scenes prior to that is just where is what I need to figure out. I wrote my first novel with the idea that it would be